Hi everyone, Mr. K here. Doing another Java video today. This time it's going to be on methods. What I have here already is a program that is set up to calculate the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Just run it real quick, let you know what happens. Oh, it was already up there. Anyway, I got two legs here. Everything's a double, just because you're going to run it to decimals. If it's not perfect, you have a equals 3, b equals 4. And then ASBS, that's a squared plus b squared. So I take the power a squared plus power b squared, and c is the square root of all of that. So sorry about my voice, I'm a little sick. Anyway, it takes that and then prints it out, tells me exactly what c equals, and then spits back out the equation. Now, the whole point of this video is methods, and methods are a good way to do. They are there to define your own blocks of code. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a method out of all this and then explain why this is actually useful, as opposed to just, why not just do everything in main? No, you want your own methods. There are very good reasons for it. At least I don't know. One of the good reasons is it just keeps everything separate and easier to read. But anyway, what I'm going to do here is actually take all this, cut it, and I'll just make another one. Static. Actually, this is going to return. No, we'll just make it void. So, and we'll call this Pythag. Alright, and my Pythag is going to take 3 parameters. I hope I don't have this backwards. 3 parameters, and those parameters are going to be A and, I'm sorry, 2 parameters, A and B. Okay, and in here is going to have everything I had before. Okay, so it's going to take A, raise it to the power of 2, add it to B to the power of 2. To get ASBS, I need to declare that, and I also need to declare my C, which is going to be the square root of ASBS, and then everything else stays the same. Now up here, I don't need any of this. None of it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to call my method, Pythag, and I'm going to put into it the numbers that I want it, to calculate. And I don't see any compiling errors. Let's hope this works. Should do the exact same thing, and it does. So why on earth is this even useful at all? Well, as you can see, I now have a separate. My code is now separate. So some people just prefer that. They have their methods separate from their main, so this way they can easily, deal with something that happens here. Oh, I have a mistake in my Pythagorean method. I can just mess with that, as opposed to fussing around with main. The other reason is if I want to do it again, I don't need to recreate the code. I can just do it again. And now I get it twice. In this case, c equals 5, and then the second time around, c equals 13. So I can do this as many times as I want. Let's pick one I don't know off the top of my head. 419. Oops. Autocomplete parentheses throws me off. Oh, what'd I do? Oh, key Y. There we go. So now it spits it out 3 times. So if we just did all of this in main, I'd have to put all this code in 3 times. But since I have it declared as a method, or defined as a method, I just have to reference that method and put in whatever, in this case, arguments are needed. Okay, there are arguments when you're calling the method. Like in my head, I'm calling it function. Functions and methods are like practically the same thing. There are parameters on this side. These are parameters. All right, these are basically what's required of the method. These are arguments, things I'm throwing at the method. But anyway, those are methods in a nutshell. All right, blocks of code just separated from everything else, and they're very handy for reuse because, well, you've already defined it once. No need to define it again. Anyway, that is it. Bye.